The city of masks, city of bridges, the floating city, la serenissima, la dominante, Venice, the eternal city that inspired Laura Biagiotti to launch a fragrance honoring its incomparable beauty. Venezia by Laura Biagiotti. Cue in the intro. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Luke and today I'm reviewing Venezia by Laura Biagiotti. I happen to own a vintage version. This is a classic fragrance from the 90s. It was launched in 1992 and the nose behind it was Michel Almirac. He created this luxurious, warm oriental fragrance that makes us think of Venice, but it also makes us think of faraway lands. Because Venice was a very important trading port and all of these spices and oriental goods, they had to come to Europe. Somehow, most of them were imported through the Silk Road, but many of them also came by sea, entering Venice and then being sold by merchants. So Venice was a very rich cultural city, full of different cultures, full of different objects and artworks. So there's definitely a link to Asia. And according to Fragrantica, Laura Biagiotti got an inspiration for this perfume after her journey to Pekino, which I believe stands for Beijing, the capital of China. So let's talk about the fragrance. I had smelled this one many years ago, but I only found this bottle about 2 years ago. This fragrance has been discontinued for the longest time. It's very hard to get. They relaunched it for a brief period of time in 2011, but it was gone in about 3 or 4 years, I believe. So very hard to find, but this is an opulent 90s style, sweet, rich, Fragrantica says oriental woody scent, but I would say it's a rich, spicy, floriental. It really is. It's sweet, it's warm, mysterious, complex, very sensual, enveloping, very elegant, sophisticated. It's got some sweet fruits like peach and mango, different kinds of florals from white florals to carnation. It's got spices, amber, vanilla, benzoin and sandalwood, which is a very typical, vintage style, 90s style fragrance blend. I can think of at least a dozen fragrances that are composed in this way, but not many of them smell similar to Venezia. This is a timeless classic. It's absolutely gorgeous. And upon first spray, when you first spray it, it really sparkles. It sparkles like a glass of champagne. The fruitiness is bubbly, but then as soon as it dries down, you get the spices, mainly the cinnamon, and this rich, vanillic, sweet, warm and powdery base, which is really comforting, but it's blended to perfection. It's creamy. It's very hard to smell out different ingredients. So it's easier to describe it using accords. It's definitely fruity, spicy, ambery, sweet, vanillic, but also ever so slightly animalic. They're supposed to be civet in the base, civet or civet, depending on whether you pronounce it in English or French. The 2011 version has fewer notes, but the main ones are plum, ylang ylang, jasmine, vanilla, resin and sandalwood. So that's the core of Venezia. And then obviously the vintage version had different notes as well, which I think added to the complexity of this beautiful floriental fragrance. The spiciness is also quite pronounced, but not quite as strong as fragrances like opium, cocoa, youth or cinnabar. No, this is more of a soft, fruity take on an oriental, which I personally really, really love. This is my favorite kind of a fragrance, I guess, composition, my favorite sort of scent profile, a rich, warm, luxurious, classic, fruity floral, oriental, powdery vanilla, slightly animalic. This is just my jam. There is another fragrance from Laura Biagiotti, a newer one, launched in 2022, that I actually consider a replacement for the discontinued Venezia, and it's called Forever Gold. The perfumer behind it is Anique Monado, and this one is also centered around plum, ylang ylang, tuberose, jasmine, sandalwood, vanilla and amber. And when I smell them side by side, most of the time I cannot tell the difference. That's similar, even though Venezia is a bit more rich, the differences are negligible. When you wear them, they both deliver the exact same vibe. Another perfume that comes to mind that, has the same vibe but is definitely not a dupe is Tuscany Per Donna by Estee Lauder. And another fragrance that I used to have is Fire and Ice by Revlon, but that one's a lot sweeter. But it also has this floriental 90s style vanilla vibe to it. So if you're looking for a great replacement for Venezia, because you can't really find it, it's discontinued, unless you fancy paying £300 on eBay, you must check out Forever Gold. Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice week. Bye.